Welcome back, guys, to the channel. Kevin here from Candy Banana Balls, and just got Hurley out, and I put him in here with this girl, and we're just watching to see any signs of her with tail wag. And then also got out our new super banana, which I named Loopy Sanchez. Kind of a long story behind the name, but something from my childhood. So stuck him in with this enchi girl, just to kind of see. Like I said, he's right there on the border of being able to breed. I would think any time now we could see signs breeding from him. So just kind of introducing them, giving them a little time to get to know each other, keeping an eye on things for the first few minutes just to see everybody gets along, that kind of thing. But I wanted to stick Hurley in with this girl, see if we can get any kind of positive stuff going on. I don't know if any of you guys noticed that the Reptichip, the cocoa block, seems to be on back order. Not sure if it has anything to do with the COVID stuff or what exactly is going on there, but it's been a little tough to get, and they're actually running a special right now. I think it's like $25. You can pre-order it. They're not shipping out till like the end of July, like the 25th or something like that. So I did order a couple blocks just to get, but there's new stuff out now. I'll grab it here. I saw a video, some guys using it over in the UK, and very similar. It's called Pro Cocoa. It's coconut block, same type of thing, compressed, that kind of thing. Add water. Well, I'll tell you about it. It's a little bit more like fibery, where the other stuff, I think there's more blocks, so to speak. This has a little bit more fiber mixed in, which I don't mind. I mean, it's it's a softer, maybe a little bit softer, a little bit different texture, and I think it regularly sells for, I believe it's like $26 or something like that, $26 a block. So it's a few dollars cheaper and very, very comparable. I just changed a couple tubs out last night with it, and so far I think it's a decent product. A little bit, like I said, a little bit more fiber, or maybe call it smaller pieces compared to the other, but overall, yeah, I think it will do the job just fine, and it is a few dollars cheaper. So if you're buying a lot of it, if you guys have a lot of snakes, and you're buying block after block, that $4 or $5 can add up pretty quick, if you're buying 10 blocks or so at a time. So I guess my review on Cocoa Block, or Pro Cocoa, would be a positive review up to this point. Seems like a pretty good product as well. I watched for it. I saw a video on, I want to say it was Predator BP. One of his guys, the Four Horsemen, did a comparison on it, and whenever they did it, I started checking, and I couldn't find it anywhere here in the U.S. Couldn't find a retailer, and then sure enough, that was probably maybe a month, maybe 2 months ago, and now it's available here on Amazon. So another option for you guys for your bedding, if you're looking. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to have a super banana on the breeding team now. Obviously that just changes the game tremendously. Now we'll be working with all bananas. On anybody that he mates with, we will have all bananas, and then whatever other genes we have at play, we could have a few of those at play as well. So that makes things a little more interesting for us. And quick update on a few things. The girl that I am very confident that I saw ovulation in is that Firefly female, and just kind of been watching her as far as like a prelay shed. She has not fed quite some time now. Through the breeding process, I think we're probably over the 2-month period as far as her feeding, which in breeding aspects, is a good thing, meaning, she didn't typically reabsorb her follicles or anything like that and go back on food. Usually, if they stay off food, you're kind of still in the game, so to speak. And that's not to say that they may not feed randomly or even feed maybe on a smaller prey item. But for the most part, when they're actively growing follicles and getting into the point where they're producing eggs, they are not typically going to eat or eat very much at all, because obviously they have a lot of room being taken up by the eggs themselves. So it almost become dangerous thing at a certain point with the eggs, and trying to feed on like a normal size feeding for them on a bigger rat. So she's showing all the signs that we may have eggs coming from her. So that is super exciting news. And like I said before, almost not too good to be true, but almost too easy for our first one to have lock, right away go into ovulation, get a prelay shed and get eggs. It's just not typically that easy. It can be, but I don't want to with everything else, all the other projects we going on, we set the pace at that first one, boom boom boom. It's not going to be that way all the time. If that's the case, if we do get eggs from that girl, it's definitely not that cut and dry, that easy to where throw them together, they're going to lock, they're going to ovulate shortly thereafter, prelay shed and have eggs, and we just keep on trucking down the line. I wish it was that simple. Wish that it worked perfectly every single time, but that's not what nature does. There a lot of other factors, a lot of other variables. So but we are going to strive ahead, especially now we got this super banana. I'm very excited to get him locking, and hopefully see some clutches from him. Will be super exciting. So also want to show you that lesser female, the one we've had the tail wag from a few times, but I have yet to witness a lock. And again, a couple times I've put Hurley with her. I've put her with her, spent 15-20 minutes making sure everything's okay, and then heading back to my camp to where I haven't been able to see if they've locked yet. I come back the next day in mid-morning, and they're not locked. Not to say that they didn't lock overnight, although Hurley typically, the few that he has locked, he usually stays locked a good while. So not to say he hasn't locked with that lesser. I just have not seen any signs of it. But she's over here, and she's a nice big girl. She's probably in the low 2,000 grams. Very pretty. The eyes on that snake is that typical, when you think of a reptile eye, that's kind of what I think of. Probably can't really get a good shot of the eyes through the tub there, but just interesting looking eyes. And I named this girl, I didn't have a name on her for a little while, but I did finally name her Jade. I just kind of was sitting there and popped in my head Jade for her. I think is fitting. she's a good-looking female. So it's interesting to see, you know, how these snakes react when you know, you first put them together in the tub, and you always put the male into the female's tub. Those where the scents are, and we've been over this when we put with that lesser, you know, where she had the tub was dirty and scented up. Now, I did just clean her tub last night, actually, with several others, so not a lot of scents, but it's just interesting to see, you know, the different things they do when you first place them together, checking each other out, you know, crawling over one another, and then the males have those larger spurs in their tail, and that is one of the things that's supposed to help stimulate and get the female interested in mating. And with these two girls, those genes, just like this, you know, super banana in here with enchi, banana enchi is probably one of my favorites. You know, I do like the banana with the spots. You know, that's just your typical banana. But when you put that enchi in there, and that reduces or sometimes eliminates all those spots, and cleans everything up, that's a very nice combination. And then you have fire, which is a lot like enchi, which what this girl is. Now you look at these two, you know, they're just all intertwined, you know, in this mating ritual, so to speak. You know, just look at the way they intertwine each other, and you know, you can sit and just watch, you know, watch this type of thing and try to understand, you know, what the movements mean, and you know, the different things they do, how that leads to, you know, them knowing they want to mate. Something to see.